Wow.
Wow. Life's
Here we are.
groovy, man.
Yeah.
So this is just a nice, quick shout out to everyone.
Yeah. Um, an offering of gratitude
Amen. Yeah.
for hearing us, for um, investing your time, energy, and attention into the possibility of a better world, of the healing occurring,
Yeah.
and
And
having a
for,
sense of humor about life.
yeah. Oh my God. I saw this great meme yesterday. The photo shows a guy lying on a sidewalk and there's a crowd of like 5 people around him. And the meme says, "He's dying. We need a doctor. Is there a doctor around?" And then it goes, "I'm a doctor." He goes, "What kind of doctor are you?" "I'm a doctor of mathematics." "This guy's dying. -1."
Awesome.
Have I told you this joke about I just forgot, Sylvester Stallone hanging out with Arnold Schwarzenegger and
Yeah, you
young.
did tell me this joke
Okay.
already.
All right. That's it. That's all I got, other than a whole lot of gratitude for you for sticking on this mad journey we're making on mopeds through the back roads
Of our brains.
of our brains. God bless us,
Everyone.
everyone.
Yeah.
I had this really wonderful experience yesterday with a friend that I was messing with the shadow a bit, like waking up and just in this dark place and having faith that at our core is divine, is light, that at everyone's core, at life's core is divine. And she assured me that's true.
Hmm. How did that feel?
It's very nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the TV show Happy with an exclamation point?
I think so. I have actually.
Kind of dark, about the imaginary friend that's a donkey with wings and a unicorn horn.
No, I don't know anything about this.
Okay.
It must have been a different show.
Okay.
I have something I want to share. I don't know if it'll let me. Here we go. Stand by. This is an experiment, live television.
Let's see.
Most of us associate the holiday with happy pilgrims and Indians sitting down to a big feast. And that did happen. Once. The story began in 1614 when a band of English explorers sailed home to England with a ship full of Patuxet Indians bound for slavery. They left behind smallpox, which virtually wiped out those who escaped. By the time the Pilgrims arrived in Massachusetts Bay, they found only one living Patuxet Indian, a man named Squanto, who had survived slavery in England and knew their language. He taught them to grow corn and to fish, and negotiated a peace treaty between the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag Nation. At the end of the first year, the Pilgrims held a great feast honoring Squanto and the Wampanoags. But as the word spread in England about the paradise to be found in the New World, religious zealots called the Puritans began arriving by the boatload. Finding no fences around the land, they considered it to be public domain. Joined by other British settlers, they seized land, capturing strong young natives for slaves and killing the rest. But the Pequot Nation had not agreed to the peace treaty Squanto had negotiated, and they fought back. The Pequot War was one of the bloodiest Indian wars ever fought. In 1637, near present day, Groton, Connecticut, over 700 men, women, and children of the Pequot tribe had gathered for their annual Green Corn Festival, which is our Thanksgiving celebration. In the pre-dawn hours, the sleeping Indians were surrounded by the English and Dutch mercenaries, who ordered them to come outside. Those who came out were shot or clubbed to death, while terrified women and children who huddled inside the longhouse were burned alive. The next day, the governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony declared a day of Thanksgiving because 700 unarmed men, women, and children had been murdered. Cheered by their victory, the brave colonists and their Indian allies attacked village after village. Women and children over 14 were sold into slavery, while the rest were murdered. Boats loaded with as many as 500 slaves regularly left the ports of New England. Bounties were paid for Indian scalps to encourage as many deaths as possible. Following an especially successful raid against the, quote, in what is now Stamford, Connecticut, the churches announced a second day of Thanksgiving to celebrate a victory over the heathen savages. During the feasting, the hacked-off heads of the natives were kicked through the streets like soccer balls. Even the friendly Wampanoag did not escape the madness. Their chief was beheaded and his head impaled on a pole in Plymouth, Massachusetts, where it remained on display for 24 years. The killings became more and more frenzied, with days of Thanksgiving feasts being held after each successful massacre. George Washington finally suggested that only one day of Thanksgiving per year be set aside of celebrating each and every massacre. Later, Abraham Lincoln decreed Thanksgiving Day to be a national legal holiday during the Civil War. On the same day, he ordered troops to march against the starving Sioux in Minnesota. The story doesn't have quite the same fuzzy feeling associated with it as the one where the Indians and Pilgrims are all sitting down together at a big feast. But we need to learn our true history so it won't ever be repeated. This Thanksgiving, when you gather with your loved ones to thank your Creator for all your blessings, think about the people who only wanted to live their lives and raise their families. They also took time out to say thank you for all their blessings.
So as we sit in this colonized land, it's valuable to be grateful. It's valuable for us to recognize the blessings that we have and that the privileges that we have. But we should also begin to dismantle the lies and to recognize that we have not been told the truth.
Well, and I would recommend even researching what you just shared for oneself. And an initial inquiry, as I was doing, shows like for the most part it's probably true, but I haven't been able to research it all because I think it's very easy to get hooked into dramatic stories and start spreading them as though they're true. Squanto definitely was a sole survivor from what I've seen from several resources. But I just recommend everyone do their research. And
I didn't present this to ruin what we're doing, because I think the practice of gratitude for the abundance that the earth gives us and the communities and the families is important. I think we need to honor that. We do. But it also it needs to come from a solemn recognition of what it costs.
What costs?
The privilege of sitting here together
Amongst friends and families with a
yeah
feast on the table.
Yeah.
You know, as Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young said many years ago, if you can't be with the one you love, love the one you're with.
I love you, and I'm really grateful for what we're doing, for the way that we can come from the dark place into the light, and that we can hold both polarities as true and honor them and journey forth together in the hopes of creating healing, good humor, and a better world.